Hi friends, it is that time of the year where you are getting the results of your MS applications, and every day I get 2 or 3 messages on Instagram and YouTube telling me that I have gotten rejected from so and so university, my all hopes are lost, what should I do? So I'm creating this video for the people who are getting rejected from the schools that they applied to and they feel this is the end of the road, but trust me, it is not. So this is the video for people who have gotten rejections on their applications, and we will talk about what are the things you can do now to get back on track. So keep watching. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Nistha from Scholar Strategy, and today we are talking about rejections. We are going to look at 5 things that you can do after you have received rejects from the universities that you really wanted to attend. But before I get on to that story, may I please do a quick request? Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you are finding our advice helpful so far. Alright, before I get into today's topic, let me quickly share my rejection story because I know what you are feeling right now. I got 9 rejection letters out of 10 when I applied for the masters my first time, and 10th admit was from University of Kansas, which was so low ranked that I did not feel like going there, so I let it pass. I don't even know why I applied there. So I still remember when I got my final rejection, I was so devastated. Next year, I was fortunately heading to UIUC for a master's in CS that admitted only 18 students this year, so my bet paid off. But this is not the only rejection I've seen. Even after getting a hang of master's applications, I again got rejected when I applied to business schools. The first time I applied, I got 3 straight rejects and 1 interview call from Columbia which rejected me later. So I reapplied and got into NYU's turn the next year. The crux of the story is that the rejections really sting, but in my experience, both my rejections really helped me do something even better, and I'm glad that it worked out well in the end. So I'm pretty sure that things will work out well for you as well, but I know you are feeling very, very tensed right now. So let's look into 5 things that you should do next to get your life back on track. So let's look at the first steps. The first thing you need to do is sit down and reflect why you got rejected. You really need to be honest with yourself, do some thinking and figure out what in your opinion went wrong. And there are 3 things that I think could have gone wrong. So in my experience, I've seen 3 reasons why people get rejected. The first one is you were not a good fit for this course. And what I mean by that is you have applied to the wrong degree program. For example, we had a client and she had applied to 2 kind of courses. One was analytics, MS in analytics kind of courses, and she got into prestigious programs like Georgia Tech and UT Austin. So obviously her profile was up to the mark. Her LORs were strong, her scores were good, her experience was nice, everything was good. But she got rejected from Berkeley MIMS program because it's a very different kind of program. They look for other things in your background, alignment with their degree and specializations like policy, etc. and a deep passion for University of California, Berkeley itself. So these things were not reflected in her application, and that is why she was rejected from there. So the crux here was that like your profile could be strong for the right program, but if you apply to a wrong major, then your profile will not be strong enough and you may end up getting rejected. So please look into if this is what is happening in your case, and this can happen especially if you're applying to a very niche program or you are switching streams, right? So you are coming from electrical or mechanical major but you're applying for computer science. Maybe your profile is not just getting there, or it is not up to the expectations of the admission committee. Second reason why people get rejected is that your application was not up to the mark. This is tough to accept, but yes, even in my case, the first time I applied, my application was pretty basic, I would say. I was working with a local counselor and followed his advice, and my SOP was truly uninspiring. It was just like copy pasted, or I wrote what I thought should be written. So this is why when we work with reapplicants in Scholar Strategy, we really emphasize a lot on we always do the SOP from scratch, because SOP has to be really personalized, and SOP and LORs have to put your best foot forward. If your LORs are not reflecting you in the best possible light, or your SOP is not conveying what the admission committee needs to hear from you, then despite everything else in your profile, it may be a tick off for the admission committee. So the point is, do you think your application can be improved? So that is one reason. So if you're applying to the right major, if you think your profile is good enough but still you got all rejects, it means somewhere your application was not strong enough. And third and final reasons for getting rejected is you have applied to the wrong set of schools. So if your major or if your chosen degree is correct, your profile is aligned for it, but you still got rejected, maybe you did not apply to the right set of schools, and by this, maybe you went overtly ambitious, and I've seen this happening. So sometimes people get too selective that I will apply only to CMU kind of programs. I'm not going to go to sunny Buffalo kind of programs. So that is okay. That is something you need to sit and evaluate, that how much do you want to compromise on the tier or ranking of the university. But maybe your profile is not competitive enough for that first tier. So you need to understand that am I applying to the programs which are reachable with my profile or not. This is where I think you need to look at the results on internet and see that people with your kind of profile, where are they getting accepted? Are you applying to out of league schools? So these are some of the reasons. Try to understand which one applies to you, because that will help you in deciding further steps. So now let's move on to second step. What should you do once you have gotten rejected? Second thing you should do is ask for feedback. So feedback from the schools, feedback from the program. So yes, in most cases, the universities send you a very generic rejection letter which does not state, they just say that they are sorry, you did not make the cut, this year was exceptionally competitive and they were not able to admit you. But sometimes what I have seen is you can send them back again a mail requesting any kind of feedback on the application so that you can improve upon it. And it happened one time that our client did get a response that they did not admit him because they did not have funding to support his PhD application. So even though it was still a reject, but it gave him some solace that his application was good, his profile was good. It was just a case of bad timing or missing out on the funding opportunity. So it was good to know that there's nothing wrong with the application itself. So yes, you should always ask for a reason. Most likely they will not get back to you, or most likely they will just give you a generic reason. But in case they give you some reason, that can really help you with planning what to do next, right? Number 3, you should, in my opinion, always figure out plan B. Now, I ask our clients to do this at the start of every admission cycle. Not having a plan B can put you in a desperation kind of situation. You want MS so badly that your mind gets overwhelmed and your focus shifts from getting the best application done to panicking about what if it doesn't, right? To get the best results, you want to apply in a composed state of mind, because it helps to know that you have a plan B so that you can feel comfortable and relaxed and give your best in the application. So for example, if my plan B is that I will apply only to certain kind of universities, else I will just continue in my current job and try for a promotion, or I will reapply next year. But this year I do not want to compromise beyond this rank. This gives me peace. Now I can focus on that I have to apply only to these kind of universities, and let me put up the best application possible, because I know that even if I don't get in, I know that I will be continuing in my job. So always try to ask yourself, what is it that I'm going to do if I get all rejects? And if you have a plan laid out there, then I'm sure your application will be more composed and it will be done in a better and more efficient manner. So please try to think of that. It's kind of having an exam anxiety and why some people perform badly in tests even though they are intelligent, right? So the idea is to bring yourself to the right state of mind. Number 4 is hire a consultant if you're planning to reapply. So now let's say that you have figured out that the reason for your reject was that your application was not up to the mark. In this case, yes, you can reapply and you can work with a consultant. However, my advice would be to stay away from consultant who have tie-ups with the universities and who promise you to get into a school or who promise you guaranteed admissions kind of thing. So always look for the previous results of the consultant and go with someone who has experience of getting people into the kind of schools you're looking for. So if I'm aiming tier 1 universities, then I want to go with a premium consultant who has helped people get into those programs in the previous years, right? Otherwise, what's the point? So yes, be very selective when you're choosing a consultant and be upfront with them that I'm a reapplicant and how do you think you can help me? This is the kind of questions we get all the time. And I talk to them and I figure out and I always tell them what I think we can do if they choose to reapply. There have been some exceptional cases where I've myself declined or told a person that, look, I don't think I can do much for you. So if you still want to take a chance, you can work with me, but I would reconsider. If you have any other option, you might want to do that. So work with a consultant who is honest about it. But yes, if you're feeling clueless or if you're short of time, a good consultant can help you save time and put your energies in the right direction for the maximum results. And lastly, I would say the last thing you should do is re-evaluate your school list. So if you think that you did not choose the schools carefully, then you should reapply, but you should reapply to the right schools this time. This is again where a good consultant can really help you focus on the right set of schools. I know rejections suck, but as I learned, and you will learn too, your schools frankly don't matter as much in the big scheme of things. It's what you do in the school that matters more. So irrespective of where you are heading, I'm sure you will figure out wonderful things. So focus your energy on, I want this and this career goal, and if I can get this even from a sunny Buffalo kind of school, then it's okay to go there. Even though of course my dream was to go into CMU, but if I'm not able to get into that, I cannot just give up on my dream entirely. I can still get into Google from sunny Buffalo, then I will go to sunny Buffalo. So please be realistic about the universities you are applying to in case you decide to reapply. So those are the 5 things, 5 next steps I think that you should consider if you have gotten all rejects or most rejects and you're contemplating whether or not to reapply. You should reapply in case you feel that your profile is good, you're applying to the right program, but maybe your application was not strong enough, and you should reapply if you apply to wrong schools. But if other than this, you feel that overall masters is not for you, overall your profile just does not make sense with the masters, then maybe look into other options. Not everyone has to go for a masters, right? So I hope these results will only give you some more food for thought, and you will be able to make a more informed and better decision regarding your future. And my parting message to you is please do remember that masters in itself is not your end goal. Masters was always a path towards something. Maybe your end goal was to work at Google, maybe it was to become a CTO of a internet company in US, maybe it was to just have a good job there and have a good work-life balance in US. Whatever it was, do remember that you can achieve it maybe without a master's as well. So if master's for some reason does not work out for you, it's okay. Life will give you other ways to reach to where you want to be. So do not get too fixated on one degree program or one exam. Similarly, that is why I hate taking drop years for JEE, UPSC kind of thing. Do not stop your life for anything. Keep on thinking of ways to keep moving, and I'm sure you will either get to a very good master's program eventually, or you will find even something better than that. Okay, so I am sure wonderful things are in store for you. Aapka time zarur aayega. So keep smiling, and yes, if you have any comments on this video or feedback for me, do leave in the comment box below, and I will see you with a fresh new video next time. Until then, take care. Take very good care of yourself. Bye bye.